alaikum, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Muslimi Meets. Today we have Labibah with us. She is an amazing poet, spoken word artist, and she's a woman that knows how to express herself. So, mashallah, we're so happy to have her here. And let's get into it. And I can't wait for you guys to hear from her and learn more. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you, darling?
I am good, alhamdulillah. How are you?
Well, I'm doing great now that you're here. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Spoken word is something that, a lot of people didn't know a lot about before. And they thought it's not such an Islamic thing. And then it became a cool thing to do, right? Mm-hmm. Brother Bona and so many other people have trailblazed this thing. And now people are finding different ways to express themselves and to use poetry as, a platform to do so. So tell us a little bit more about yourself and what does poetry mean to you? Tell us.
Okay, so my name is Labibah, as Idil just said. I'm a spoken word artist. I've been on my journey since grade 10, alhamdulillah. I've been on that path. And poetry has been kind of a place for me to be able to express myself. I think that is the first, thought whenever you think of poetry, right? It's where you can put all your thoughts, your emotions, and everything like that, right? Alhamdulillah. But for me, it's more than that. It's how I express myself to the world. Mm-hmm. For me, it started as writing because I was angry at the world, right? Okay. I'm never such an angry person. Yeah. I'd like to think of myself as very positive, but I was very angry with my world, with the world that I live in currently. And I think for me, I didn't know how to express that, right? Because it is, there is such a manner that you have to carry yourself, especially as a Muslim, right? And the way you do that, you have to be able to convey whatever you want to the world. So poetry for me became a place where I could write about, all the angry thoughts that I had, how I felt about the world, the sad, the happy, the, kind of that's where I started. Yeah. And then after that, I think I started delving into how I want the world to see, what I wanted the world to learn, what I wanted to teach the world, right? So that kind of for me is what poetry means.
That's such a healthy outlet.
Yes.
When you have all these emotions and you just need to get it out, it's like, how do I do it?
Yes.
Without like saying something or, being physical. It's like, how do I get this out? And you put it on paper. And then you're also going to relate to other people, right?
Yes.
So what is it that you maybe started writing about, or what do you write about now? And what do you want people to get from that?
Yes. So for me, I wasn't aware. I feel like, when you have a certain talent or a certain gift, especially, it all comes from Allah, right? When you don't realize that you have such a thing, you don't take it as seriously, right?
Take it for granted sometimes.
Yeah, you take it for granted. So it took me like winning different competitions. It took me like hearing other people be like, "Oh my God, that was so inspiring. Where'd you get that idea from?" And I was like, "I'm just writing from where I come from." And for me, I realized that mostly when I was trying to put so much poetry into the world, I wanted it to be something that was easy to follow. Yes. Right? Like I think when we think of poetry, we think Shakespeare, we think all these like great people who wrote so many different kinds of poetry. We don't, and all of them write everything everything is so deep with them, right? They're like, oh my God, I fell into a hole that wrapped me up and, all of this. And I was like, what happened to these simple words that we write, What happened to me telling you, this is where I am?
Exactly.
There's so much impact with that.
That's right.
So for me, with my poetry, as much as I can, for me, my own mark and my own talent is usually using the most simplest words to convey the biggest messages.
Simplifying that.
Yes, simplifying the message, because I think we get lost in the translation of things, right? The whole idea of, oh my goodness, we're in English class, we're translating what this poet said and what this, and I realized no one should have to do that. The words should be there, simple, simply said. And I always put Allah at the start and end of everything when it comes to my poetry. I ask Allah first before even putting, writing things down. I ask Allah before even conveying my message. And, for me, that's really important. Yeah, that's really important to me.
That's a beautiful thing. And I think it's rooted in intention.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And there's so much elegance with simplicity.
Yes.
And I feel like people overcomplicate things that are just beautiful and simple.
Yes.
Mashallah.
Yes.
So I'm so happy to see that you're doing that.
Yes.
And I'm happy to see that, poetry means more to you than just an art. It's not like a sport that everyone is kind of, trying to get into now.
Yes.
It's a journey between you and Allah first. And it's a personal one.
It
so
is.
mashallah, may Allah bless that for you.
Yes.
I know that, you're going to grace us with a little bit of your poetry.
Yes.
So we want to get a sample of that, mashallah. We want to see the simplicity and we want to journey with you with that.
Yes.
So if you can, inshallah, share a piece with us. us, tell us what it's called.
Yes.
And then we'll give you that time, inshallah.
Okay, jazakallah khair. Now, for this piece, I had written this piece for RIS. RIS, their theme for this year was Blessed Reunions.
Okay.
And I wrote this in connection with actually my first spoken word, what even got me into this.
Yeah.
So I was merging the two ideas because of how far I've come and versus where I started.
Yeah.
So it's merging the two ideas, basically bringing them together.
The journey.
Yeah,
That's
the
awesome.
journey,
Yeah.
right? That's a blessed
Yeah.
reunion in itself, right? So there's a few words that I take from the first one to implement into the second one, and this is kind of a little bit what I have to say.
Okay.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This one is titled The Rewritten Version. My daughter asked me to read her bedtime story about a princess with a young heart and is carefree who lives in a world with happiness and glee. How can I tell her the world is not what she thinks it is? It's cruel, it will bring her down, it will push her to the ground, it will yell at her over and over, you're worth it, you're a mistake, and you don't deserve it. Now I can't tell her that story, now can I? The story I will tell her will be different from the rest. It will only include the very best, maybe about a princess who's on a quest to find a reunion so blessed. If I was to tell her a story, it would go a little something like this. Chapter 1. In a land built by kings of great destruction lived a princess so known she didn't need no introduction. As she hailed of a land of ice and snow, the princess is on a journey to find something so incredible. She slowly finds that blessed isn't a word you just throw. It's the embodiment of bestow. It's the flower rising from the ground and choosing to grow. It's the World Cup giving the world more than a show. It's the child that comes home after she journeys the world solo.
Okay.
It's Eid coming, bringing loved ones from far and near. It's RIS in their 20th year, still feeling like it's their very first premiere.
Okay.
It's out of the 4,200 religions, Islam standing so clear. Chapter 2 on this particular night, the wind suddenly picked up with such fright. The princess soon discovers that reunions belong in every category. From superhero movies to the childhood story. Look at Nemo, Marlin, and Dory. I guess you could say their union is congratulatory. There are more examples across all of narration. It's you meeting your Lord in prostration, souls meeting at the point of creation. Adam and Hawa had the first reconciliation. Umrah and Hajj is where we are brought forth with the population.
Wow.
Yes.
MashaAllah. Tabarakallah. Yes. Do all the snaps for her. MashaAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you, sister. You did such a beautiful job. Your words are yours, but when you perform them to us, you're giving us a gift, and we're going to hold that gift for you as well for as long as we can.
Yes.
We're going to celebrate you for as long as we can.
Yes.
We're going to snap for you and clap for you as long as we can, inshallah.
Yes. Alhamdulillah.
And we want to see you win.
Yes.
So we're also waiting for you to do your best, inshallah.
Inshallah,
and
yes.
don't give up this journey.
Yes, yes.
Even in its, trials and tribulations.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, it's not easy to be out here with a microphone.
Yes,
So I'm
true,
proud of you, mashallah.
Yes, yes.
And we're rooting for you.
Yes, alhamdulillah. Thank you all so much.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're giving me a platform, and I think that's so good and that's amazing. I mean, it shows that we're supporting each other.
Absolutely.
And it definitely sends a message to the world in itself. And this in itself is its own art. It's its own poetry, right?
Absolutely.
So alhamdulillah, thank you so much for giving me that.
Absolutely. We're in this together.
Yes, yes.
Is there a platform where people can find you so they can hear more of your work?
So I am on Instagram. That's where kind of I'm slowly, dipping my toes in everything. I feel
Get your phones out. Make sure you follow.
Yes,
Okay.
it's Labibah.Salim. So LABIBAH.SALIM.
MashaAllah.
Yes. So you all can follow me on there. I'll be sharing more content, inshallah, in the near future. So keep an eye out, inshallah.
Inshallah. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for journeying with us while we journeyed with Labibah and her beautiful words. Make sure that you go and follow her and make sure that you support her journey. It's not easy to be out here using your words to impact the world. So Jazakallah khair for coming once again to Muslimi Meets, and we'll see you for next time. Assalamu alaikum.